Alrighty, so here we go with the first toolkit entry for Chapter 8. It's called Interior and Exterior Angles of Polygons. So over here I drew actually a regular pentagon here. I'm going to write that over here, regular pentagon. And we're going to go ahead and identify how you find certain measurements of this angle. And there's three types of angles that go along with any of these polygons. One's interior, we also have exterior angles, then we have a central angle. So first of all, let's start with an interior angle, what that is. An interior angle is each of the 5 angles in this case that go around. So this is an interior angle, so is this one up here, so is this, so is this, so is this. So that's what we call interior. We'll go ahead and write that there. We also have what we call exterior angles. And so what if you were to do this, if you were going to go ahead and take this side right here and just go ahead and extend it further, it would go ahead and make what we call an exterior angle. So that would be this one right here. So that would be an exterior angle. And there's lots of exterior angles, by the way. If I went to go ahead and actually extend it all the way here, we'd have another one over here. Extend that side out. You can extend this side out. Extend this side of the polygon out, and finally extend this one out. And you actually have a series of 5 different exterior angles. And then the last kind is called a central angle. And if you found the exact center here of this figure here, of the regular polygon, and you went ahead from here and you actually drew line segments that go from that center out to each of the vertices. So I could draw one out here, like this, and I could draw more over here. And if I did that here, I would create actually 5 different central angles. So we have a central angle here. And I'm going to go ahead and write that there. So that's our central angle. And keep in mind, we actually have 5. So we have that one, we have this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we have 5 altogether here, but that's just one of them. So the first thing is that n equals the number of sides. So when we talk about n in any of these formulas here, that's what it represents, the number of sides. So there's a number of formulas here. First of all, if you want to know what all the angles add up to be, for interior, it has to do with this. You take 180 degrees and you multiply by n minus 2. So for instance, let's say n was 7. You would just say, what is 7 minus 2? Well, it's 5. And then you take 5 times 180 and you'd know the answer for the sum of all the interior angles. Exterior angles, it doesn't matter here how many sides are in the figure. It could be 8 sides, 5 sides, 12 sides, 20 sides, whatever. The sum of the exterior angles is always going to be 360. Same thing with the central angles. And the reason why for central it is if you notice here, if I take one central angle and then I do the other one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, it makes a circle. And so always the sum of the central angles will always be 360. If you want to know how much each of those angles is, so how much is each interior angle, or each exterior, or each central, that's a different story here. You just take the sum and then you divide by how many sides you have. So the sum is right here. So it's 180 times the quantity n minus 2. So you just take that and then divide by n. Or you take this, divide by n, and you take this, divide by n. So one thing you should notice is that each exterior angle is equal to each central angle. So the measure of the central angle is always equal to the measure of the exterior. One other thing that becomes clear when you look at this is if you go back to this drawing here and you look at the one exterior angle and one interior angle, they're supplementary. So another fact is that if you take one interior angle plus one exterior angle, it equals 180. So if you know one, you can just subtract from 180 to find the other one. And finally, before we do an example here, here's just the sum of some common interior, or sum of some interior angles of some common polygons. One's a quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon. So the sum of the interior angles in a quadrilateral is 360. For a pentagon, it's 540, and for a hexagon, it's 720. So remember, you can pause at any point here. So if you need to pause, write this stuff down, that's fine here. Okay, moving on here. We're going to use this information now to answer a couple questions here. So here's the scenario. You have a regular and you have a regular octagon. So if it's an octagon, first of all, you have to ask yourself, how many sides do I have? So if it's octagon, that means 8. So n in this case is 8. So if we want to find the sum of the interior angles, what we're going to do is here, we're going to take that 8 and subtract 2. and multiply by 180. So 8 subtract 2 would be 6, and 6 times 180 would be 1,080 degrees. So if you added up all 8 of the interior angles here, they should add up to be 1,080. If we want to know the measure of each interior angle, you just take that sum, which is 1,080, and then you divide by 8, because there's 8 sides, and they're all going to be the same. And if you take 1,080 and divide by 8, grab your calculator, and if you do that, you'll get 135. So each interior angle should have to be 135, not add up, but each one should be 135. All right, moving on here. There's 2 ways to figure out problem C. One way is, we know that if you take the interior plus the exterior angle, it equals 180. So in this case here, we know one interior is 135. Therefore, what you know is 135 plus the exterior angle is 180. So all you have to do is take 180 minus 135. So the answer ends up being this. The exterior angle ends up being 45. Okay, the other way of doing the exact same problem there and getting the exact same answer is this. The sum of the exterior angles is 360, and if you divide by the number of sides, which in this case is 8, 360 divided by 8, if you grab your calculator, you'll get 45 degrees. So there's 2 different ways here of looking at this same problem here and getting the exact same answer, either 45 degrees this way or 45 degrees this way. And finally, what's the sum of the exterior angles? That's always going to be 360 degrees. It doesn't matter how many sides on that polygon, it doesn't matter if it's regular or not, that's going to be the sum, 360 degrees right there. So there you have it. Everything you wanted to know about exterior angles and interior angles and even some central angles thrown in there.